We are going to look at some types within Solidity. I've already deployed this contract, which contains the basic types. First, we're going to look at the Boolean. So that's Boolean A. So I'm going to retrieve the value, and I see the value is false. As you notice here, the variable is not initialized. In Solidity, when you can use variables that are not initialized, they are usually initialized with 0, or in case of Boolean, that's false. So the next one is an integer, which is also not initialized, so it's showing the value 0. With integers, you can specify the size of the integer. So the default int is int 256, and here we've explicitly defined that one. So that one has the value 1. For example, B2 has the value 2. There is no floating point in Solidity. That's because the implementation of floating points is kind of hardware dependent, so that would be difficult to implement in a blockchain where everything has to be done always exactly at the same way. So there's no floating point. The next one is an address. So that's, as you can see, that contains of 32 bytes. So that's the type for addresses within Solidity. And there are special types of addresses. They're payable. They're, of course, or they're the same size, but you can use them to transfer ETH to this kind of address. And to avoid mistakes, you have to signify them as payable. Now we're getting into the byte types. You can have 1 byte. You can explicitly say that it's 1 byte by saying byte 1, or for example 3 bytes. Then, as you can see, it's a little bit longer, so 3 bytes or 32 bytes. Well, the next one is an array. So it is an array of unsigned integers. By the way, you have the difference between unsigned integers and integers. So that's the same as in other programming languages. So here's an array. You can retrieve the first value of the array. So that's with index 0. That has the value 12. And if you retrieve the value of the second one, so that's the one with index number 1, you see its value 7. You can get the length of an integer, of an array, and here I've made a function to retrieve that length. And as you would have expected, the length is 4. Next type is strings. So it shows the string. And the last type is an enum type. So that's a type where you can define the values yourself. We've assigned here the value D, so that's the fourth value, and internally they get values like A is 0, B is 1, C is 2, and D is 3. So you can see the value 3 over here.